Okay, great. Well, guys, there is nothing planned for today. A casual session where I just trying to help out as many as I can, yeah, the main reason for the session is to for you to ask some questions. We're gonna look at some charts together. Maybe do some analysis and stuff like that for like 1 hour or so, see what's going on, mainly on the longer time frame, to see how far things been moving, especially after last week situation with that Turkish lira crisis that been affecting many other of the emerging markets and Europe as well, what to expect, and most of it what are the charts are telling us. So please, if you have any questions, just write them in the chat. I really want to see some questions from you guys to while you're here, to try and help you. Don't be shy to ask questions. It is a good opportunity for you, especially if you are new to trading. So why not to ask here? If I cannot answer, I will tell you that I don't have an answer for your questions. I'm never shy to say if there is something I cannot answer, I will say, I will tell you that. Yeah. So yeah, that's what we're gonna be doing. Look at some news, see what's going on. Hello, Trung Lee. Still at work, buddy? Yeah. Well, that's good that you didn't hear me talking so much good things about you. Otherwise, you will never answer me in our trading room. So no worries. So today, if we look at the news events, we already had Aussie news during the night in Europe, morning in Australia, of course. So the wage price index was met the expectations. The French and the Italian banks have a holiday today, so no, I'm not expecting anything from there. But the main events today gonna be, of course, the CPI for the sterling, guys, because the market is expecting 2.5, and if we look at the UK CPI, as you see, we've been in some kind of downtrend here after topping out at 3.1. Then things start going down, and now we are going like sideways, 2.4, 3 months in a row. And if we look at the sterling chart, we know that it's looking pretty bad for the sterling, yeah? So today the market is expecting 2.5%. And as I said previously, we had like 2.4 for 3 months. So sterling looking bad already. What if this situation keep going, or if it keep dropping? Then there is, when we're going to look at the chart later, you're going to see that there is almost nothing beneath it on higher time frame as well. So what about starting with firstly with the Dixie, and then we will take a look at the sterling chart as well, since that is the major and first major news we're gonna look at today. Sorry, guys. So weekly time frame, why not monthly as well? If we look at the dollar monthly chart, guys, you see that after reaching the 200 simple moving average on the monthly, the Dixie did find support, and it was, of course, not the only reason. We also met some resistance that been support right now, yeah. Previously, if you look at this level like this, you see that this old support resistance is now did act as support. At that same time, we had, of course, as well the 200 monthly moving average on the dollar. And we had the reversal. And those of you who have been following me, you know that I've been talking about this range for a while, where we had this head in this head and shoulder situation. And you surely remember that I said a break above this neckline here would send the dollar to retest this area up here. We've got that. And the previous couple of months, as we've been fighting at this 95.15 level, didn't manage to break above the neckline, didn't manage to break above the 200 weekly moving average. But last week, we've got the break. We broke out of this area. We broke above the 200 moving average. And I've been saying as well, guys, that as soon as we see a break and close, especially a weekly close above this area, we need to change our bias on the dollar from mid-term bullish to longer-term bullish. And that is my opinion, what we should be doing right now, being long-term bullish on the dollar, expecting some, of course, corrections. The market never push in one leg and continue without any corrections. But I mean, if we look left at this weekly chart right now, there is no reason structure-wise to stop this market. I think the next market objective should be to reach this high up here around the 98 area, where we also have 618 Fibonacci retracement for this whole leg, yeah? That is a possible level when where we could expect some resistance at. It is a minor level. I think, in my opinion, the dollar is heading toward the 100 and probably close this French election gap here. But structure-wise, there is nothing looking left. Monthly time frame, you really see that we do not have any real structure before the 100 as well. So if we're talking long-term time frame, it seems that we are heading that way. Everything is telling us that right now. So if we go down to the daily, we see that broken wedge right now is very, very clear. As you see, we've got the break, we've got retest on a shorter time frame and continuation. So even on the daily, we're still bullish. 4 hour time frame, also bullish. I did send an update yesterday in my trading room about this possible flag. We broke out of that. The idea was on the 1 hour time frame, especially when we've got this bullish engulfing candle at the S1 and the previous low here, making a double bottom. And we've got the breakout, we've got the retest, and the continuation. Right now, the market, the swing traders are happy. I think they got paid already here at the weekly R1. These are the weekly pivot point. These are the daily pivot points. So this is yesterday's pivots. This is today's pivot points. And on the monthly, we are also, let me put that on the monthly to mark this area. So on the monthly, as you see, we did reach monthly R2 as well. So let me mark that on my chart since I didn't have it actually. It's good to have. So monthly time frame, we are trading now at monthly R2. Let's put that back on the daily. So since we do have the level now, we do not need it. Come on, TradingView, wake up. So we are above monthly R2. This is usually a very, very bullish thing when a market breaks above R2, no matter what, if it is daily or weekly time frame. This is major now. So one could expect some correction, but as I said, guys, the dollar is bullish, and the best thing to do is buy the dips. We do have on the lower time frame, on the 1 hour, we do have bearish divergence. On the 4 hour time frame, we also do have bearish divergence. We are trading at weekly R1 above monthly R2. So there is a possibility for some correction lower, but your main bias should be bullish and buy the dips on the dollar. So, okay, Paul, see you later, buddy. No worry, no worry. That is the situation with the dollar. If we look at the sterling, since I said we have those inflation news that we're looking for on the sterling. My main idea on the sterling was when we broke this major support here that we look for a retracement toward monthly S1 to sell it. As for now, that is not happening, and we keep heading down. And I think even on this chart, it's good to go to the monthly and look at how bad things are looking right now for the sterling. So this is the sterling chart on the monthly time frame since 1993. We've got this major drop after the 2008 crisis. We've got a correction, another break of this flag or wedge or whatever you want to call it, but it was broken, retested, and we've got another, this is another leg that we've got to the downside. Now, what happened this year was, or the last couple of years since we started this move to the upside, we start correcting higher, reaching back to these previous levels. You see how good memory the market have. I mean, these levels was back here in 2000. Here we tested them and respected them around 2009. We've tested that as well, 2016 before the break, and now the sterling couldn't manage to stay and hold above this area, and that's why when we broke this neckline, I sent an idea on TradingView, guys, telling you the market did now break a major level here, the neckline. We broke outside of this ascending channel as well. If we take off this one, you see a very, very clean channel here that got broken, yeah? And last week, we've tested this previous low as well. We broke that. And right now, there is not much on the way. The next market objective or the next support is 1.26 down here. And below that, we're going back to the bottom. So the monthly chart is scary for the pair. There is really nothing to hold it before this area down here around 1.26. There is some support at that level. So daily, we've been inside this channel, trading nicely inside this channel, lower lows and lower highs all the way, until we've got this very extended move here lately, yeah? So this is extended, and one could expect some correction, especially if the CPI numbers for today at least meet expectations of 2.5. Anything below that, especially below 2.4, will really be very bearish for the sterling, yeah? So that is the situation with the sterling. 4 hour time frame, as you see here, we've been watching this very narrow range last week. We thought that we had a break to the upside, and we tried to trade it, but as you see, the candle after that rejected at the weekly pivot point and daily R2, went back inside the range, and when that happened, it was clear that we're gonna keep moving lower, especially after the break below the low here with this candle. And since then we left this box, and now we are back in another narrow range. In my opinion, the short-term traders, intraday traders today, and swing traders' objective should be to reach at least weekly S2 or daily weekly S1, sorry, or daily S2 for today. But we have the news event in about 1 hour and 20 minutes. And you see that there is not much left before we reach this 1.26, the last line of defense on the currency. So if the news to be bad on the sterling, that will give the bears more confident that even though this push is overextended, it looks extended as you see, they will try to test this support level, yeah, because this is like the last line of defense for the currency. You see it clearly on the daily, guys. It was resistance here, broken with a major candle, and then retested as support. And since this retest, the market kept pushing higher. But for today, 1.26 is an important short-term support that may give a bounce, especially if the market start moving lower ahead of the news and reach the daily S1 maybe or so down here, or the weekly S1 ahead of the news. And then we've got some good news that may give sterling a bounce. But longer term, even if we got nice inflation number, I still see this area up here as a possible sell level. The currency is still in a very bearish mode. Okay, any questions about that, guys? Ravinder, can you please have a look at Aussie New Zealand on 1 hour? Yes, of course, buddy. So, Ravinder, the situation was odd in New Zealand. If we start at the daily, we've been ranging here. Those of you who've been following me for sure saw on my weekly overview talking about possible break, retest, and continuation. We've got that now. We completed an A, B, C, D pattern, as you see here, and we've got rejected badly. So in my trading room, we were looking for this retest to take a buy. I think some of the guys in the room already are in a buy. And right now on the 1 hour time frame, we did yesterday a test of the area. We've got a little bit of a bounce, and today we put our first higher low on the 1 hour time frame. Last hour we broke and closed above this neckline. This is looking good, especially that we broke above monthly R1, daily pivot point. Right now we have the 200 moving average on the 1 hour acting as possible resistance. We don't know yet. We broke this trend line. We did a retest of it. I think we could, if you're long, you should be targeting the weekly pivot point at this level, or the daily R2 here, where we have the ADR high as well, yeah, to probably reach and trade these levels at the gap. But I mean, after such a huge move above the market needed to correct. I didn't expect the correction to be so low though in a so fast time, but yeah, that's what we got, and we should keep seeing this as support as far as there is no break and close below this low here. This could still be a buy from here, and especially if this 4-hour candle end up, as it looks like now, close as a bullish engulfing above this neckline. There is 1 hour 42 minutes still of this candle's life, but I mean on the 1 hour time frame we already broken above here. Yeah, so if you are long, you're still good to go for more. So that was it, Ravinder. I hope that answered your questions. Brexit is dragging it. Yeah. And not only Brexit this time. This time we do have a very strong dollar, very strong dollar. So the dollar is hurting a lots of other currencies. Mohammed Zarur just sold sterling USD because he is in resistance. Sterling USD, yeah, I mean, the only thing I'm not willing to sell right now is for this on the daily. As you see, we are extended here. Maybe there is still, as I said, there is still some steam in this to keep pushing lower to 1.26. It is a very bearish market, Mohammed. So that is possible, but I mean, we have the news later. It is a very cheap price here. So the thing is, any good news on the CPI may give the bulls some reason to buy, to try to buy sterling at a cheap price at this level. So to add more sells, I would wait until we do a deeper correction up. But I mean, if one wants to trade the news event itself, if you have any expectation about maybe a lower inflation, then you are good to go. UJ, let's see. I am in a long on UJ since this break and retest. So I am in a long somewhere here after this breakout back above. So I am holding my long now, took some profit at the weekly R1 here because it is a good confluence level. You know, we had the daily R1, we have the weekly R1, and we have the NFP low. Yeah, so those who students in my room know what and why this NFP level is important. But I mean, on the 1 hour time frame, Aaron, we're looking good so far. We are still bullish, especially if gold keep moving lower. I didn't take a look yet at the gold chart. We do have some bearish divergence right now on this time frame. As you see, we have divergence between this high and these highs here, while the price was making higher highs. So there is still divergence. This is a major important level here. Any break above 1150 will keep giving the bulls momentum to reach monthly pivot point and probably higher. So if we go back to the daily and take a look, the daily we broke below previous lows, so one could expect continuation. That didn't happen, and still we're not above a major high. So this currency right now is to be traded based on these lower time frame movements. Yeah, Since we broke below this low, one could expect a continuation. But on the 4-hour time frame, also we broke above an important level. The 1120 area here was a good high that got broken, and now we're testing another major area. I think the market objective is to probably test this the 111.50, which is another good resistance support. It was resistant here, and it is a very old level. If we crunch the chart more, we see that it's been tested many times as support and resistance as well. But as for now, the momentum is to the upside. And if we take a look at gold, we had this we've been following gold, and it's been bearish for a long time. We've been trading these range, the breakout. Yesterday, I sent this trade in my trading room to trade the break of the flag retest. We've got that as well. And as for now, all-time frame on gold, starting from the weekly, very bearish, even on the monthly. If we go to that, you see that on the monthly, we are bearish. We broke below this low, we broke below this low, we broke below this low. That, at least right now, yeah, the monthly candle here is not closed yet, but we are trading below major levels. Weekly time frame, this ongoing week, no close yet, but we trading below a major support again. And this would be, this low down here would be the last line of defense before pushing toward the 1120, yeah? So looks bearish on all-time frame, daily also breaking and continuation. So the gold is not helping JAPY at all. And as far as the gold also is bearish, UJ may keep moving higher from here. Okay, so keep an eye here. This could break above and continue. Midterm market objective should be to reach the monthly pivot point ADR high for today. It is bullish on the 1-hour time frame, at least. I hope you got my idea, Aaron. So, any other questions, markets, guys? Please let me see them in the chat. Otherwise, we'll keep going, looking at some charts and talking about the situation with most of the majors, yeah? So, for the Aussie USD, if we look at the monthly time frame, I will show you some monthly time frame on many charts, guys. Things are looking bad on many of them. So for Aussie USD, as you see, this monthly time frame now, after breaking this bearish flag, we had tests at the 200 SMA on the monthly, did this double top on monthly time frame, broke the neckline here, breaking below this low as well, and now about to test this major low here at this level. Gonna be another last line of defense for another currency before another drop lower, yeah? If we look at it like this, you see how bad things could be if we break below this low here. That is for the monthly. Weekly time frame, we've got this gap down and continuation. So on the weekly, you see it clearly. This is the market objective to probably reach these levels. Position traders for sure want to get paid down here, or at least hedge their shorts. And on the daily, right now, we're not far from that. We're trading just below the weekly S1, and we're meeting some rejections as for now. Yeah, could be a break and retest continuation. Let me take these off. But even this pair also very overextended on the 4-hour time frame. We start having bullish divergence as well here. The shorting level, the best shorting level in my opinion would be a retest to monthly S1 and this broken structure up here, yeah? And then another leg lower. Even this pair would need some help and some love from the gold. But as for now, 1-hour time frame, if this to have a short-term chance to survive and keep moving higher for today, you want to see at least this high broken, then possible continuation higher. But that would be short term, and that would be trading against a major trend. As for now, any bearish evidence, I mean, if we get rejecting at the weekly S1, I would not be shocked seeing this testing the last line of defense down here today. And later today, now we've got the Aussie news out of the way already, was as expected. It is a major event, but not the main market mover, yeah? So today we have core retail sales from the US early New York session, and retail sales month on month as well. Empire State Manufacturing Index. So, oh boy, if these here showing all green with a strong dollar already, I mean, we will keep heading higher on the Dixie, and everything else gonna be down against the US dollar. So this is the first important event from the US this week, guys. Let's take a look at another major on higher time frame. We did the Euro USD already. We did Sterling USD, New Zealand USD. Another pair that been sold very, very strongly, especially after the Central Bank of New Zealand talking the currency down, saying that in the statement very clearly that they think that the currency level is soon at a fair level. What is soon and what's fair, I'm not sure, but it was a very dovish statement, no hikes in a very long time forward. Some of them was talking about hike cut as well. So it was a clear message for the market. They was very bearish. And on the monthly time frame, I know, maybe some of you saying A, B, C, D is crazy to think of right now. Many said I was crazy when I did publish this idea on Euro USD on the monthly. When I said this about the Euro USD approaching a Fibonacci cluster and an important structure level, I got so many reaction. You are crazy, we just broke a new high, monthly time frame, everything is bullish. And if we look at what's happened now, boom, not a pip above the level. And we are looking at monthly chart, and you see where we are right now, yeah? Breaking new lows and stuff like that. So we always need to, I mean, when you're talking about structure levels and monthly areas, you need to respect those levels. And many was asking why you called the short here and not here. Well, that was based upon these first touches here was the original support, and the Fibonacci cluster, we had 618 and 38.2 if you measure this leg and this leg together. So there was a combination of things. But in any case, as I said, when such a monthly level as this flag here got broken now, we broke below this major structure. In my opinion, this market objective, the longer term, of course, you're gonna see short term, 1 hour, 4 hour, even daily and weekly, some corrections, maybe a retest to this broken structure. But the main market objective on New Zealand USD for me is to retest these lows now. Looking at the monthly, there is nothing else to hold it actually before the anchor leg at the B. And I don't think I need to explain what will happen if we break B as well. But this take like years, guys. So here we are right now, breaking, looking very bearish. We do not know and we are mid-month right now. On the weekly as well, last week, break of major level, and we are looking to reach this area here, the 0.64 level, as first trouble area before reaching the B anchor leg. So if we look at the weekly, we are not far away from that. And the daily time frame after the break of this consolidation, keep those consolidation on your charts, guys. When you see the market consolidating like this, giving you a clear range, mark that on your chart and wait for that breakout. Do not be inside this madness. Do not trade anything mid-range because you're gonna be chopped out as you see. The mid-range, give you spike up, give you spike down. The price could go either way. When you see a range like this, the dominant trade was to the downside. All you need to do is to try and sell these levels and keep holding those trades in anticipation that we're gonna break the support and continue lower. That would give you a crazy trade here if you could take any of these. I mean, this was a signal, bearish engulfing here on the daily. You could take it or wait for the retest, stop loss always above the highs here. And you could have, even if you took it from this level, you're up 250 pips now. So they are very helpful, these range where they happen. But the bad thing is when you start trading mid-range, do not do so. The 4 hour will show you even more how the mid-range is always the level when things get choppy. But when you trade the highs or the extreme lows, you always get very nice bounces. And this was even more helpful because we've got another micro range inside that range. So now we could lower our risk to play the breakout of this little range, having a stop loss above this area. So it's not, if you missed this one, you're still not out of the game. You got another chance with this range to play the same thing we did on the bigger time frame. Yeah, I think this is a very, very helpful thing for you to do. Keep an eye on those micro ranges. I love them. I want to see them in my chart, and I always, always, always try to stay out of the madness in the middle and just work the edges, guys. This is a very helpful and free tips for you. So New Zealand USD also longer term still bearish, and nothing that could help it. Maybe some good news here or there could do so, give it a push higher, but a longer time view, it is bearish. The CAD, USD CAD, here we have a bit of different situation, yeah? Inside a huge and major correction on the weekly time frame. And this could go for long. This pair could correct for long, guys. If you've been trading for a while, you surely remember this move to the downside and the flag or the correction we've got during that time, yeah? So this was a long-term correction that happened here. And then we've got another impulse to the downside, breaking below this low, stopped at this support here. Now we have another possible correction, yeah? So this is still possible that you see another leg down, but we're still above the 1.300, a very important level. And as far as we are above that, this market will keep bouncing in this range. Despite the dollar strength, as for now, CAD still performing well. Looking at the rest of the currency, we see that the CAD still performing a little bit better than many other currencies. We're still inside this descending channel right now, but the major channel is ascending to the upside. So it is a little bit tricky. We've been trying to trade this to the upside short term. I got stopped out yesterday. I didn't publish that in my room yet because I told the guys that I am long at the retest, but I got stopped out after this leg because I was anticipating a break, retest, continuation. So my trigger was on the 1 hour time frame. We've got this nice bounce here, and I was thinking that this may continue. So that didn't happen, got stopped out. And there is nothing to be ashamed. If the market show you you're wrong, you just accept it and move forward. What should we do now? We still have this descending channel on the 1 hour. I do see that the market could not break above this weekly pivot point today on the retest. Monthly pivot point also got broken below here, as you see. Daily pivot point is also at this level. So in my opinion, this could keep moving, channeling to the downside for another push lower, yeah? Especially if oil keep moving lower after yesterday's built-in numbers we've got. But we have later also crude oil inventory. But as you see, guys, short term, I mean, especially if this got broken, we may keep pushing lower toward these areas down here. 1.3000 is still the most important level on this chart longer term. That really need to be watched closely. This is the main number. We've had a break here a couple of times, but it didn't hold. And there was this bullish divergence happening all the way from here to here. As you see, the lows are getting lower on the price, but on the RSI, the divergence was clear, yeah? And after such a major candle, one could expect only one way. That's why I wanted to continue this long position, but we got stopped out. The market does what the market want to do. So this is the situation with the USD CAD. Short-term, 1 hour continuation down despite a strong dollar is possible. Joachim, you're right. You're probably right. We didn't do EU, we've done Dixie, but that is a mirrored one, but we will do the Euro as well. Let's do so. So Euro, longer time frame. Well, as you see, guys, monthly, I showed you the idea why there was a short here. We looked at that in the published idea earlier here. For those of you who just joined, we've been talking about this idea on the monthly, reaching a cluster level of Fibonacci's between this leg and this leg. And even if we measure the whole move, the all-time high down here to this level, we had the 618 as well. in this area. So there was a cluster of Fibonacci's. There was a major level here of resistance, and here we are today. So if we go back to the live chart here, we have the yearly pivot point here on this chart is not showing. Let me change to the yearly pivots on one of those indicators, because we need that today. So these are the yearly pivot. Yearly R1, been tested, couldn't break, rejection. Now we broke yearly pivot point, especially if this month's closed like this, below the yearly pivot point. I think the position traders want to get paid somewhere at the yearly S1. At this level, this is going to be an important structure. You see, we had some support here earlier on the chart. We have the neckline, we have the yearly pivot point S1 at this level. Longer term, especially if this month closed like this, we are heading toward that area. Weekly, we've been looking at this wedge that now got broken. We're looking right now at the 200 weekly SMA that right now we're trading below it. We're trading below monthly S3 as well. That is huge. But if you look at this leg is now broken, and there is a possibility for another leg to the downside from here is possible. But we should keep an eye on this. RSI is at the oversold, but it could be oversold for a very long time as well. That alone is not a good reason. And on the daily, I mean, guys, when we started this move, breaking this here, I told you to start playing the levels one by one. Then we broke this, and then I said, this is the last line before we start reaching major levels, yeah? And we've got a very fast move. So here what happened. We had a long-term consolidation and a strong move. We've had now another long-term consolidation, and if we could expect another strong move to the downside, is possible, yeah, based on this. It's not impossible. We had a very shallow correction here, and boom, once again. So if we want to, let's say we want to make a Fibonacci extension of this move and see where could this, where are the levels. You see that the 1.618, the golden extension, is at that yearly S1. At that same level, we do have the French election gap. The new traders that like to trade, close the gaps, still waiting for that. Been shorting euro since the break above it. So it's not too crazy to expect that. But shorter term, if we look at the daily, you see that this low here could act as support, short-term support. It is a bit extended leg, so of course, I would love to see some correction back to that yearly pivot point, or probably back to the broken range here and then down. That would be great. But I do think if we break this support, we may keep getting just like a couple of days correction and continuations. Depends if you are in a trade or not. I know that you are in a trade, Joachim, doing 300 pips on this one, and you just wanted to keep dropping lower. Oh, let me take off the yearly pivots because it makes the chart crazy. So let's go back to the weekly. So even on the shorter time frame, you see that we had a shallow correction on the 4-hour and now testing swing traders levels, yeah? S1 on the weekly and testing this. Let me see if we can see that low. Oops, enough. We tested this support, yeah, short-term support. That's why we're having the bounce right now. Weekly S1 as well, below monthly S3. That is huge. S3 is a big number. Most of the time when that happened, that shows you the low of the months. But with this bad situation, the market would not respect the technicals level so much. We are in a fear mode on the euro, and that the Turkish lira may affect those banks, especially Spain, French and Italian banks. They are in a deep trouble if the Turkish lira keep having those issues. That's why we're having this sell-off on the euro as well. So for today, guys, day-to-day trading, this is a major support level. You need to keep an eye on that. I would not go long, even though it is against such a strong bearish market. We do have some news later from the US. Any retest toward monthly, daily R1, ADR high could be an area to look at for another short back down to the weekly S1, I would say. I would not recommend anyone to go long from here, even though we do have this bullish divergence on the 4-hour. I mean, there is signals that we may have that correction, but do not forget, this is a correction, and the best thing to do is not to trade these corrections, to trade these nice impulse to the downside. You see, the impulse down is much stronger than the corrections. You may get some pips if you're scalping also. This is a very important level that you could scalp at the 5-minute, 15-minute time frame. But even on those time frames, you have this area. If you are scalping the 5-minute time frame or so, this is your major resistance for that time frame. And the second resistance would be the highs up here, if reached, since we have the R1 above that and the ADR high is also, below that, and the ADR high is also below that. Okay, but longer term, keep being bullish, sell every rally on the euro dollar. Joachim, yeah, it could be so. It could be so. I would not say as strong as if it was below an S1, because when you're trading below S3, you are most of the time in an extended move. And yeah, when we do talk about the pivot later in the course, you're gonna see what I mean, because there is much more to it, especially the relationship between last month's and this month's pivot range. Though we did not cover those yet, we're gonna do so. So yeah. Yes, what more, what measure we do have? I just need to take a look at the Turkish lira, guys, once again, see what's happening over there. Wow, another nice drop, another nice drop. But I would still say do not long this currency, guys. There is lots going on. 16, more than 16% yesterday and today on the Turkish lira. I'm not sure if we got any news from Turkish 3 million country jobless average. Yeah, nothing good there. Turkish banking watchdog says that the bank's FX swap will be limited to 25% bank's equity. Yeah. And let me see the Wall Street. I mean, this situation will keep evolving, and we need to really keep an eye on that. Turks being befriend with the Russians more and more. Trump will not like that. but it seems that they are getting closer and closer. Another now Turkey is adding sanction to boycott Apple Inc. phones and other US electronics goods. They are both had some statement yesterday, the Russians and the Turks, talking about the bullying from the US. So this is still ongoing. Nothing has changed, and the pastor is still in prison, and we didn't hear anything yet about that. So this is still evolving. But of course, the Turkish lira having nice breath right now. I mean, if we look at the weekly and monthly, there is this chart is still bullish and will keep being bullish. Before start talking about anything else, it need to break these lows down here. These lows are the minor ones, also good for the lira if it managed to do so. But these lows gonna change maybe the picture. But look, guys, this is better than Bitcoin. You know, all the hype about Bitcoins, this is crazy. And after such a huge move, some relief needed. And this situation still, even though this rejection and all that, we still didn't make, if we take a retracement of this move, or only for this last week, we didn't, we almost at 50% retracements. That's nothing, yeah? If we only measure this candle. But if we measure the whole move after the breakout, we are just below 50%, okay? So don't be very, very trigger happy and start thinking that things are better. Nothing has changed yet. They are trying what they can do, but still not over, yeah? RSI is already making hidden bearish divergence here on the 4-hour time frame, yeah? So based on the RSI, this low here, on the RSI, this low is much lower than this low, and on the price, you see that there is a huge room between those. So we do have already hidden bullish divergence on the RSI. Yeah, that's probably what's going on. That's Russians and the Chinese. They say it clear that they will try to do the same as they're doing with Iran and using the Turkish lira, but that won't be easy. And as I said, this is still evolving, so we need to keep an eye on those headlines. Did we miss any other majors? USD Chief could be a good one to look at as well. I had a short on this one. I'm happy that I closed most of my position at the weekly S1. We've been marking this level as an important level. So I did short this retest here, got a very nice bounce, and I took 75% of my profit and had a stop loss trail that got taken out. But since then, we broke above the monthly pivot point and we keep heading higher, yeah? The bulls will not stop before reaching at least R2 or weekly R1 up here, I think. Weekly time frame, you see it is an ugly chart right now, choppy and stuck in this range. Monthly, look at it, we're still inside this range, yeah? So it's not the best trending market, could give you some short-term trades, and we need to see a clear break above this high here to start thinking of a possible continuation to reach these highs up here longer term. As for now, it is very choppy. Short term, as I said, you could find some good trades. Today's or this week's market objective should be to reach this weekly R1. There is a big momentum going on right now, starting from yesterday's push here at weekly S1. A huge volume entered the market, and it seems that they are willing to keep pushing it higher, yeah? And gold, we did that as well, so nothing new here. Gold is still bearish. Any other questions, guys? Any other charts while we are here? We've been live for 1 hour now, I think. Please write your question in the chat. I will take 20 minutes break, drink some water, and get back to you. You're welcome, Andrew. We did Sterling USD already. I am recording this session, Andrew, so we're gonna, you will be able to see the recording, but let's take a look once again. We've been talking about the news event CPI today in 30-minute, buddy, so we need to keep an eye on that. But as I said, let's do this very fast again. Monthly, we are very bearish. We broke previous months. This month is not closed yet. We are eyeing this last line of defense at 1.26. Weekly, also we broke previous low, and there is a possible continuation to 1.26. And daily, where we are today, we've been talking about the market. This leg looks extended, and longer time frame, Andrew, we're looking about retest to monthly S1 or toward the BOE decision here, and possibly a sell from that level. As for today, we've testing this broken range here, and yeah, we're looking for the news. Bad news will, especially if lower than expected or lower than 2.4, will keep the bears have the same confidence to keep shorting, or a much better level, or at least as expectation number would probably give the bulls a reason to buy the sterling at a cheap area, maybe start building some long positions from here. I think 1.26 is going to be an important support or possible buy level longer term for those who want to start establishing longer term positions trades. But below that, things will start looking very, very bad. As you see, there is not much structure if we break that level. So yeah, that was it, Andrew, about the pair. Jill, why do you think gold is bearish as a safe haven asset when it is risk off? Well, if you look at the stock market, Gil, I mean, we have some crazy bull market. No one is in fear mode yet for some reason. Everyone think this will keep going up. We are almost at all-time high. So investors not in pain yet to start looking at gold. That it seems so. Then we have the seasonal push higher on gold, but that would be ahead of December. December used to be bullish. August used to be also bullish, but as for now, nothing happened. So the stock market, the Dow, the same thing, still bullish. I think we will keep seeing gold pushing down until we start seeing some pain in the stock market, S&P, Dow, when things start really, if this will reverse, then the investor maybe start looking at gold. As for now, it is a flight for quality, and that's why the whole market is looking at the dollar as a good quality asset to have. That's why we're still having this bearishness on gold. And I mean, if we look at all-time frame, we are bearish. Why would we start thinking to go against this trend? On all-time frame, lower lows, lower highs, on all-time frame, you see that every bearish move is much, much stronger than the bullish one. You get a very strong bearish move, and the bullish, look at these bullish candles, bodies. There's no bodies at all, and most of them, then you get a strong, every time you get a bearish leg, it is a very, very strong one. So that is what the chart is telling us. We do not need to overanalyze things. As far as the chart is telling me I am that the chart wants to go south, I will keep following south. That's the simplest answer for that, buddy. Yeah, no problem, Andrew. That's good that you've got your explanation for the sterling USD. Yes, great. Any other questions, guys? Remember, guys, we still have the summer offer on if you want to join our trading room. Of course, the course is a little bit late now because we've already started the course and the sessions are ongoing. But if you want to join our chat room and trading room, we still have till the end of August. I still have this offer, $20 off first month if you use the coupon code SUMMER when you do your registration. So it could be a good opportunity for those who want to try the room and see what we do inside the room. For those of you who have never been there, I could show you some of how things work here. This is the main channel where I do send my daily updates many times a day. I think my students who is here can talk a little bit about that in the chat, how things been done, but I could show you here. As you see, I do send a lots of updates, both news, charts, many times. All this is one day, still Monday the 13th. Starting from early London session, we start with some morning updates, what's been going on during Asian session. If there is major news event that the traders need to have an eye at, I publish it as well. So we start every day with the Euro session morning call with lots of fundamentals, what's been going on during the night, what to look for the day, geopolitical, all the major events that may affect your trading. Then I start doing my daily update with gold, Dixie, weekly time frame, daily time frame, short term, what's going on, what to look for, following the market step by step. And we keep updating here the Japanese future, for example, on 1 hour time frame, talking about gold again, S&P 500, try to find where the money is, what is the situations, and I keep sending those updates on as many markets as possible, at least 2 or 3 times a day, but it is a continuous thing that we keep updating, especially when the day start and the things start evolving. We go down to lower time frame and start explaining things. I do send some important information and articles where the money could be right now, what to look for, what's good, what bad, what news to look for today. So loads of information, lots of value for that little money you will pay monthly, guys. It is an amazing team we have. Then we do have the trade ideas where everyone send their ideas and talking about their trades. Congratulations, Liam. He just sent his Sterling Jappy scalp hit take profit. Anyway, in this room, congratulations, Joachim, for your almost plus 300 pips on euro. In this room, everyone send their ideas, do some discussion, meet, talk. If anyone have any situation with that they need help with, very helpful community to help each others. As you see, lots and lots going on 24 hours a day. So it is an amazing opportunity for you guys. If you're still in the thinking of joining, take the opportunities and use this summer offer right now, yeah? Let's see. Joachim, EU makes a push for weekly S1. Could be. Let me check. Yeah, it is looking bad. I mean, there's nothing else than beers in this market. But let's see. We're reaching this important level right now. A break below that will open the door for more. The question is where to sell only on this market as for now. Where to sell. And those who are holding a short should not be worried at all. Okay, Yuke. Thank you, guys. Thank you for those great comments. I do love to help and update in the room all the time. It is wonderful. For those of you who are not in the room, why not you taking the opportunities and ask some questions? If you have any troubles, if you're struggling somewhere, just ask on, guys. We have, I think we're gonna go for another 20 minutes or so. Maybe watch the Sterling news together. If it not get empty here and very quiet, I would maybe keep going for those Sterling news event. That would be an interesting to see what will go in, what will happen on the charts. While you're thinking of a questions, let me check on some other chart on my other screens. Let's see. Let's check it on our Euro Aussie trades. Perfect, perfect. We've been short in the room from this level. I was almost about to get taken out, but Trusted the trade, still in it. We've got another opportunity to sell today, looking good. Now all eyes, guys, those of you in the room that is still in this trade, all eyes on this area, yeah? We need to see this broken. Intraday target should be daily S1, ADR low. We could push lower to test the weekly pivot point as well, but intraday, at least daily S1 would be good. Keep an eye on this. If you entered yesterday early here, you should be having your stop loss at break even now. The market was not able to make a new high, so you're pretty safe to put that stop loss to break even on this trade. Sterling Aussie with another short. This one is not as good as Euro Aussie. Also, we couldn't make a new high, but we have those news in 18 minutes, so we need to keep an eye on that. Depends on your entry. I mean, if you're not sure about it and you had a nice entry here somewhere, you could go break even and wait out the news or hedge the position all as it is. And we had the Aussie New Zealand, many in the room have it. The long here, still looking good. We've had, if we go down to the 15-minute, on the 15 minutes, we had the break above the monthly R1 and daily pivot point. We have the retest, and we want to see another 15-minute candle breaking above this, yeah? We want to see at least a 15 minutes that close above this, then that may give us a possible continuation in short-term trading, yeah? As for our time frame, there is the life of this candle is 46 minutes from now, and we want it to hold at least at this high here. Close above the neckline would be a good signal that we may move higher. And even if you're not in the trade and this close like this and you want to go long, maybe you look for some correction to the daily pivot point. A stop loss below S1, even if you target weekly pivot point, that would give you a one-to-one trade, the first target, and a break above the weekly pivot point here, well, that may send us toward these areas, yeah? The body of this candle would be a good target. That would be a longer term target, almost 3-to-1. But since it gave you at least a one-to-one reaching this level, it is also below ADR high. So if the market will do a full ADR, you could have some more as well. This could be a good trade, guys. This could be a good trade. We wait for this close and see what we get on that. We are already long in the room, so I am just showing those of you who follow on Facebook and not in my trading room yet, that this possible idea. The counter trend line is broken no matter how we draw it. So even if we take this or take this, it is broken now. So there is a good possibility that we push higher from here. Okay? Yeah, get some coffee. I do still have some coffee here, Joachim. This morning I was thinking about telling you open a wine, but it's a bit too early for that. Let's check the headlines, starting with this. Turkish court has rejected appeal to release Pastor Brunson. Yeah, as I said, guys, this situation is far from done. Let's see if we have some reaction. Sitting at the weekly pivot point still. We reached the ADR low of today. Trade a little bit below, and the headline, the first headline, the last headline here was, yeah, still problem. He will not be released. I don't think they will do so, actually. We do have the Turkish budget balance as well. Looking okay. Nothing else over there. Turkey slaps tariff on American booze, cars, and business group. Let's see. Turkey has announced increased tariff on U.S. products, raising duty on American booze to 140%, cars to 120%, and tobacco to 60%. Oh my God. The government claims it's responding to a deliberate attack by the US on Turkey's economy, which is in the midst of a currency crisis that economists say was triggered by flawed monetary policy. Tariffs on rice, cosmetics, and coal will also be doubled, and Turkish President Recep Erdogan has urged his citizens to boycott US electronic goods. The measures are the latest in a mounting tit for tat. Yeah. Still evolving. They are still in this war. Just give me 1 minute, guys. There is some workers trying to fix my door outside. I will just talk to them and see what's going on. I will be back in 20 seconds. Yeah, they said that the workers here said that it's gonna be noisy in about 15 minutes. So yeah, we have 12 minutes to the news event for the sterling. So we will manage to end the session without any noise from the workers that gonna fix the door. Gil, even if they release the pastor, they still owe EU banks several billions. Yeah. Of course. This situation is still far from done. There is much more other things to this. Christina, Dow Daily yesterday inside bar for me is confusing because I've read that can be a continuation or reversal. What's your opinion? Dow, let's see. You said daily, yeah? Well, Christina, it is a bullish market, so a continuation higher is possible, but on the short term, we are squeezing again, yeah? Everyone is trapped now. Short-term traders are trapped inside here. Yeah, it is an inside bar, Christina. And the way you trade an inside bar, let me open another chart, a clean one, so we can explain it a little bit better. Where is that? Why I'm not getting a load chart? Come on, TradingView, be kind. Hello. Yeah, it don't want to do so. So let me clean my chart this way instead. Inside day or inside bar. So here is on the daily. So the way to trade an inside bar, the easiest way would be to trade the continuation of the trend ahead of the inside bar. And the rules are that as soon as the market breaks below the low of the inside bar toward this direction, you will go short, targeting the next major level, which gonna be this level down here. So it would look something like this. Yeah, you put your if you want to trade it, you want to see at the market trading below the low of the inside bar, a stop loss above the high of the inside bar, and you need to target the next market low. So in this scenario, the risk to reward ratio is not good at all, because as you see, it's inversed. Yeah, so to trade this as an inside bar, I would not recommend it. But the thing is, if this wasn't here, this low here was not an issue, and you had nothing on the way until we reached this level, that would be another situation. That would look something like this, and you get your at least 1-to-1, and you're good to go with the trade when you're trading an inside bar. But since we have this this neckline and this rejection, I would not dare to take such a trade. Shorter term, as you see on the 4-hour, the 4-hour time frame right now is bearish. Yeah, we've got the impulse leg to the downside, and right now we are squeezing or making some kind of correction. The easiest to say here is that we're probably gonna break down to retest these lows. This was the wick we saw on the daily, so this is gonna be a level to keep an eye at. The last time we had the retest, we've got a nice bounce higher. Another one here, when we retested this level, we've got a very nice bounce higher that break above the highs. So it is a little bit tricky right now with the market squeezing like this. Yeah. And when this happened, everyone got trapped. Both sellers and buyers short term are trapped inside this right now. Yeah, the market is not paying anyone. The long are trapped, the short are trapped, and no one is getting paid. So the fight gonna be at the edge of this major range somewhere here. Let's put that like this instead. So this is the major range. As I said, both sellers and buyers, the new ones, are trapped. Of course, if you are a seller from up here, you're not having any issue. You're locking profit already, and things are looking good. But those who went long here or those who went short here, no one is getting paid since the market is squeezing inside, letting everyone else being trapped. If we do put some pivot level to help us to see what's going on for that, and let's put the NFP as well. You see that the NFP high is the major resistance here now. Yeah, it is clear here. So that is a important structure that gonna be an important resistance, and we know that already from our range I just drew to you, that this is gonna be an important level. So we have an FV high, and we do have daily R1 here at this level as well, trading below the 200 moving average of the 1 hour, and the support is at the weekly S1, and that is the bottom of the range. So I would not trade this based on inside bar or anything else. I would try to short the retest of the box, or look for bullish evidence on the bottom for a possible bounce. A break here will send us to test these levels, this major support down here. This is gonna also be an important level as well. But I mean, in this case, if you wait for the break below and trade the trade here, your stop loss will not be as safe, and the target is very short. That's why I'm saying, since we have the first leg to the downside, could be a good idea to look for a short from the top of the range, stop loss above this high. That would give you some room for targets. That would give you a lower stop loss. I mean, even if you target the NFP low or daily pivot, you're still looking good. And if it goes well, you will have even better risk to reward, even if you put it here, or if you want to put it around the R1 above the weekly pivot point, it would still be looking much better. So in this case, when you have a range and you want to trade the breakout, it's not the best idea, because the next structure is very close to it. Yeah, you're welcome, Christina. What did you mean, Joachim? Turkey hasn't reacted. Ah, you mean USD Turkey, yeah? I think the market knows already that there will not be any release. So I don't think the market is trusting anything right now, especially those trades, boycotts and stuff like that from Turkey. I mean, they will play a little bit with the US, but they cannot hurt the US a lot. The US economy, it's much bigger than that. And even the Turkish economy, it's much lower if you compare that to the global GDP. But definitely trade war is not good for the Turkish lira for now. Any news, bad news about that is not good for the Turkish lira right now. 2 minutes left for sterling US for the sterling news. DIX is still fighting the weekly R1 here, above monthly R2. Bearish divergence still on the RSI. Gold still bearish, but stuck at the daily S2, which is a good important level, but structure wise we do not have anything looking left. So let's keep our eyes on the sterling. Let's check on the news event. The major one is, of course, inflation rate year on year. Yeah, we do have the core inflation rate, we do have inflation rate month on month, but year on year is the most important one. And we're gonna start seeing those coming up here on the squawk. I will put the volume on, so you maybe will be able to hear the squawks. 1 minute. So the expectation is 2.5. The previous was 2.4. And yeah, 30 seconds or so, I think, left. Inflation rate month on month at 0. Previously was at 0. Month on month is released already. 10 seconds. 2.5, guys. 2.5. Month on month in line. Year on year, 2.5. So 1.9, 1.9, core CPI month on month minus 0.1, month on month July 0. So it was 2.5 as expected. Short, not major reaction yet. We've had some revisions as well. We're going to take a look at that later if we find any news. So as you see, year on year, 2.5. PPI input month on month is 0.5, much higher than expectation. And RPI year on year, 3.2. The most important number was this. It is a bit higher inflation than previously, but as expected. Still no major reaction. Yeah. And this is happened the other day as well. There was no reaction until like 15 minutes after the release, before we've got the real move on sterling USD. We've got this push higher on the news release and then start moving lower. I think that was on the average earning or employment numbers. So still no major reactions right now. We're still trading below this range. The CPI for July as expected as 0, so the year on year was a little bit higher, but as expected. So there's what was no surprise. Hard to tell how the market will read that. There was no surprise at all. As for now, it's still looking bearish. Yeah, no actions at all. How's the Dixie doing? Euro testing that weekly S1 again. Some reaction at that. How's our trade going? This is the most important. We are in this, so we want this to go down. But if Aussie USD is not going good, that would not go down. So Aussie USD retesting the weekly S1. If Aussie USD manage to break above this, may help our sterling Aussie trade, but depends on what will happen with sterling USD as well. As for now, it is still unsafe, even though we didn't manage to make new high, but there is not a new lower low as well. And our Euro Aussie is rejection again already, yeah. So, but there is still 25 minutes of the lifetime of this 1 hour candle. And yeah, Euro Aussie been a little bit choppy, so that may continues. As I said, we still want to see this broken for that short trade. If you have your trade on break even already, if you entered early here yesterday with us, you are safe anyway. And Aussie, New Zealand, still reacting at that 200 SMA on the 1 hour, yeah. What we are interested to see is how this 4 hour time frame will end. Right now we are trading back at the neckline. We want to see a close above that. That would be great. Sterling USD again, still no major reaction from the market. If something that is to the downside as for now after the retest, but for more downside, we need this 1 hour time frame to close below this low. Yeah, so this could keep ranging anyway. But again, it was, I mean, we have a better than last month's. The last previous month was 2.4, and this month we have 2.5. PPI input looking good, so not bad, not bad. But who knows? Many times we see that the market priced in those news. What many big boys know is much more than what we know, guys. Let me see. Is there any questions in the chat? I don't see any questions. Then I think that's it for today, guys. 1.5 hours of me talking. I hope you enjoyed the session. And yeah, I will, as I said, I will try to keep doing these when I have time. Keep doing these free sessions, trying to help you out, those who need help, and yeah, have some nice conversations with you guys. Thanks a lot for being here. This is recorded. I will upload it on my YouTube channel, of course. And thank you very much. Yeah. See you out there. Okay. Bye-bye.